Yeah, we want to have half the possession, but take twice the shots.
Yeah. They're just efficient. They're lethal. They're clinical.
Welcome to Vamos Morados podcast on the State of Louisville podcast network. I am Zach.
And I'm Benton.
And Benton, the season, well, one of the seasons is done. It's playoff time.
Yeah, we are either at the playoff line or just about to be there. It's just an exciting time in general. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm stoked. And every playoff game that Louisville City plays is going to be at home this year. Guaranteed.
Hashtag blessed. Don't have to fly to Charleston or anything dumb like that.
Don't have to drive to San Antonio.
Oh, and the drive? Absolutely not. No. I was flying that one. But yes, thankfully, none of that nonsense. All going to be from the safety of home. And man, they've been killer at home. So let's talk about
you want to play
the last
home.
of it. Yeah. Let's talk about the most recent home game for Louisville City.
We'll talk big picture after, but we had a game this weekend we can discuss.
The last one wasn't really too meaningful for us, but Phoenix Rising had something to play for there in terms of their playoff positioning. Not quite the title defense they would have probably liked to have had.
No.
It's easy to forget that they're the reigning champions.
Especially after last night. They squeaked in.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of rough for 8th is Phoenix and 9th is San Antonio. Kind of rough for former champions in the West.
Yeah, I expected higher for both of them, and it's just not panned out that way. But hey, I'm not mad about it. But I'm glad that we got to play these two teams before the playoffs. I think there's a lot of value in playing a team you've not played before, a little bit style. I think it keeps the team on the edge of their toes. And can you imagine like ending the season playing like a Loudoun or Miami or just some team that's kind of like, flat
nice
a team you've seen before.
It's nice to get the big matchups in the season. You wanna be playing like Phoenix and San Antonio and New Mexico, the bigger teams on the West. It's fun to get those.
Yep. So, I one thing I thought of when I was doing my write-up for this today, this was a little bit delayed in doing so. Any other time we go down, like I usually get like kind of like some sort of nervous, even if I'm like pretty confident how the team performs. But with this particular squad, like when they went down in the 8th minute, I wasn't that worried about it.
It's never really nerve-wracking with this team. This team can score so many goals so quick that it never really feels like you're in a bad position.
Right. And it feels like just such a unique feeling to like just be totally confident in that position, especially after that Memphis matchup like a month or so ago where they went down by 2 in 20 minutes and they came back won like 4-2. I just wasn't worried about it. And panned out being that I didn't need to be worried.
We didn't have a lot of time to worry.
About not quite 20 minutes, but almost a little bit. If we could nitpick, we'd win it sooner.
The earliness of the goal kind of cuts both ways. I think it's like concerning you get off to a bad start, but then it's also like you got a lot of game left to play.
Yeah, so but goals can change games. But when you're this team like that, it just doesn't phase, like for racing, for example, we've talked about that before, like them going down and how that's kind of transformed the games for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whereas kind of game plan stays the same. It was a weird goal too. It's not one that you feel like it's going to come up super often. Kind of got caught in the counter off of a corner kick.
Yeah.
3-on-1.
What was super interesting after the match, Coach Cruz, I always talk about like the conceded goals and whatnot. He was very quick to to cite like this is kind of like a product of the style that they play, and it's like, and that goal is like on him. He didn't have any criticism of the players or anything for that one. It was a situation that was kind of just a product of how aggressive that they play there. And I really just like, the ownership that he has in situations like that. It could be easy to like nitpick at something that somebody could have done better in that particular sequence, but he recognizes that, it is what it is. That's the price that they pay for what they're doing.
It's hard to blame Ray when it was 3-on-1. There's only so much you could do in that situation.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, he has it set up that way because they believe in their ability to score off these like set piece opportunities. So,
well, there's another it's kind of a weird. They got a clean header, if I remember, on that corner kick, and it went off of a Phoenix player and took like a bounce right to someone's feet and got him off quick on the counter. It's kind of an unfortunate sequence.
It's kind of one of those few opportunities this year where like just how aggressive that Louisville City is kind of played against them. They've done very well at maintaining the dominance with that aggression and not overly conceding. Which, I mean, from a lot of the season, I was just kind of waiting for teams to figure out how the squad's been playing. Nobody's been able to successfully do it, or at least in a meaningful way. Which, I mean, yes, you asked me halfway through the season, I'm still probably counting like, all right, I wonder when we're going to try, something different, a more traditional like 4-3-3 setup or something like that. And it's never been needed.
They clearly don't need it.
And especially if they're going to be playing at home with the width of Lynn Family Stadium. I mean, I don't see anything different for the remainder of this,
The one small issue, which is not even as bad as it's been in years past, but they still are not quite as good on the smaller fields, and that's not going to come up now.
Yeah, not a non-factor.
Something I love from this weekend's game, which we've seen a lot of this season, but I feel like this was one of the more extreme examples. They had 32% possession to 68 for Phoenix, but 24 shots to 9 in Louisville's favor. They had 256 completed passes to Phoenix's 597. So about under half of the passes.
That's one of the highest numbers I've seen, but that Phoenix number, that's incredible. Yeah. I ever looked at that.
256 passes, 24 shots, 86% pass completion percentage, which is kind of.
If you had to summarize like how this team has played this year, like this is a good like little like sample right here. It's not like overly extreme or anything, but in terms of like how have things generally gone?
This is the far extreme. Like this is distilled. This is.
I mean,
like
this is like what they've like strived for. Like this is like a good summary of like, hey, this is what we want to do, or what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, we want to have half the possession, but take twice the shots.
Yeah, they're just efficient. They're lethal. They're clinical.
Well, they're quick. Like they play aggressive, fast passes and move up the field quickly rather than like taking their time.
But also, I don't have the number in front of me. I mean, in terms of their goals to shots, I mean, they're the best. So they are quite clinical with those opportunities as well.
When you get a lot of chances off the counter, you tend to get higher quality chances. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of which, Wilson Harris, a brace on the night, and we got to watch the game with one another, and it didn't hit me until like that Wilson Harris ended the regular season with 19 goals after that performance.
If he had a hat trick, he would have hit 20, which would have been the first time for him.
And I know he's been scoring pretty regularly, but I guess haven't been mentally.
Is it weird to say he had nearly 20? It's kind of a quiet nearly 20.
That's exactly what I was going to get to. It felt like it flew under the radar, and partly because there's just so many other performances that we are praising or catching attention that it just became like almost routine for him to score. And I've not given him enough credit or enough praise because of that. But yeah, 19 goals, like hell yeah, he's been so damn reliable in that court. And I know I was talking with you about this at the match, like how he once referred to himself as the first defender. Like you
Yeah,
gotta love it.
a good mindset.
And how many times this year have we seen after he scored? He's waving the crest on his kit.
He didn't turn to the back.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I mean
I eat that stuff
he's
up.
second in the league in goals this season.
And again, like you said, it feels like it's quietly happened, or at least not gotten the enough attention. And I'm very much guilty of that. At least you get caught up on all these other fun performances that we're seeing. Taylor Davila and Elijah Weidner in the midfield. You have Jansen Wilson.
I would say,
Killing it.
Can you guess who's second on the team in goals this season?
Is it Jansen?
It's Jansen. Jansen has 9.
I knew he's at 9. I couldn't remember anybody else's number, but I'm like, he actually might be number 2.
Yeah, kind of surprising. I mean, I guess if you count both teams, Goodrum also has 9, but I think he does not have 9 for Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ray is third with 8.
Which is surprising. He's a play I go back and forth on. You just see so many performances, like sequences or moments where you just go, oh man, like it just like get frustrated or disappointed in the outcome, whether it's like a whiffed shot or
and I think
like losing the ball.
Our idea, like he might also be a victim of getting hot early. So I feel like maybe I think he set expectations very high with like the first 3 games or so of the season.
I think that's part of it, but
down
not
to earth a bit. Like if you had flipped the season around and he finished the way he started, we'd be a lot higher on the season as a whole.
That's fair, but I mean, this even goes back to like in previous years, and that kid's only 22. Like, I feel like I have an idea of where his like potential is. And when you don't see him like quite hit that, it can be frustrating, especially when you do get moments where he's brilliant. He's so like his ball handling is so good. It just doesn't always translate in the right moments. I don't know, but trust the process a little bit. I'm sure he's making the 11 for a reason. I mean, he scored, so
something I love to see. So Louisville doesn't have a ton of other than Wilson at second, there's not like a ton of people at the top for goals scored. It's been really evenly distributed around the team. Something I love to see, Louisville has 4 players in the top 10 for assists this season.
Yeah, so those are coming from everywhere too then.
Perez, Morris, McFadden, and Davila are all top 10 in assists.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, Wilson Harris, 0.75 goals per 90. Which is pretty good.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah, Ray's created the most big chances too. I haven't dove as much into the specific numbers yet of everybody since kind of the dust has settled on the regular season. Something I tend to leave more towards the
we'll do like a full season recap after the playoffs are done.
Yeah, but it's just interesting seeing that, but it's because there's so many like cool little nuggets like that, especially with how well the team has done this year. Awesome. Another noteworthy thing from the performance against Phoenix was that no Arturo Ordonez, which you would a while back maybe have considered kind of like a bigger deal, but it didn't seem like they missed a beat. You kind of forgot he was MIA for a while there.
Without Ordonez, they still basically have their starting back line from any other season from the last few seasons.
The depth on this team, like I know we've said this ad nauseum, it's absolutely incredible. It's wild just how much talent is on here. We had guys like Jansen Wilson and Sam Gleedle coming off the bench. Manny Perez too. That was awesome seeing him come back after his injury. So glad he got some game minutes heading into the playoffs. We have
multiple players coming off the bench. Well, I guess multiple players willing to come off the bench that are a starter on literally any other team in the league.
Right?
Like, I think Louisville City is the only team that Goodrum is on the bench for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And I think it
crazy what we
says a
have
lot
here.
about one. I think the players. It says a lot about the roster they have and the team that they have so many players willing to come off the bench to play for Louisville rather than start for someone else.
Yeah, you have to be bought in with the with the game plan, the vision for what's going on there. I mean, none of these guys are out here for individual accolades. They want to lift trophies, and that's the kind of thing that you need to do. You need to put yourself aside, your self-interest aside for the greater good of the team. That's exactly it. So I just love what has really come together here this season. It's been so much fun to watch. I'm just hoping that they're able to, bring it home and lift. There's 2 more pieces of silverware they want them to lift. So I guess it's a good point for us to start talking about the postseason setup, right?
Before we move on, can we talk about that first Harris goal? Because that first touch and that turn was just absolutely filthy on that goal. It was a great ball from Adams. I think Adams got the assist on that, but he plucked that straight out of the air and put it on his outside foot perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, he's a hell of a player. Hope he doesn't go anywhere in the offseason. Nobody poaches him. But if he were to, like, it, it'd be hard to fault anybody. It's like, well, yeah, he's kind of killing it here and ready for something bigger.
I don't think he's getting poached unless it's a different league.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think interleague. Yeah, no, I mean, who of our top guys would leave Louisville City for somewhere else? Like, that's just not a thing that's going to happen in terms of in the league. Hate to be pompous like that, but anything else is a downgrade in pretty much every conceivable fashion.
If any major contributor is leaving, it's a promotion.
Yeah, exactly. So playoffs are here. They make me nervous. As good as this team is,
Can we get real? Can we be real? Is this?
I hope we're always real. Well, it's recorded, we're not jinxing so I don't know nobody. How safe it is.
Okay, we're just talking about our feelings. They are such a favorite this season that the superstitious person in me is like, this is the kind of year the streak ends, when the season where it's extremely expected they at least make the championship is the kind of season where they get surprise knocked out in an early round.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
It's nothing even about the team. It's just the setup's too good. They're like, everything is too much in their favor, and it makes me nervous.
Yeah, no, I have similar thoughts in terms of I'm really nervous, but every kind of piece of logic and evidence runs contrary to that, right?
100%. I don't even think, because just to make sure no one reads that the wrong way, I don't think the team is complacent. I don't think they're gonna take their eyes off the ball and let one slip. I just think
dumb luck thing,
karmically, it's just I feel like the streak is not going to end on a season where they have a bad season. The streak is going to end in a surprise when they're good. And that's just the way I feel like it's going to go down.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Exactly what I'm thinking as well. But let's walk through it and kind of assuage our concerns.
We looked at we've added one more game to it. What's their final home record for this season?
16 wins, 1 loss. So,
did we not have a draw at home this season?
No, we did not.
That is insane.
I know. These are comical numbers.
I kept waiting for the third number to come, and then I was like, "Oh, that's 17 games. That's the season."
Yep. So here, I got the bracket pulled up. Let's let's talk through what could happen. Who cares about the West, because we're only going to play one of them, whoever comes out the other side. And I feel good because I don't think the West is as good. So first matchup for us is obviously North Carolina. First match against them was, I'm not going to say forgettable, but didn't stand out. Second one was a barn burner, 6-4. That was on the road. That was without Coach Cruz. I don't think we get another one of those. I don't think it gets that wild again. I mean, they're a team to be respected, but I don't know. Are they those guys? Are they those guys that can stop this Louisville City team? Is Paco Craig going to like put on a stellar defensive performance and stop this offensive juggernaut? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. You know.
So just looking up, I'm looking up the global club soccer rankings on Opta. So North Carolina is currently ranked basically where they are in the playoff in the standings. I mean, like they are in between Indy and Orange County in their like USL rankings. So I would say like 8th is probably right around where they are in the East as far as like quality goes.
Yeah, they're not a terrible team, but we're just
they're not bad, but they're also not like top end in the East.
Yeah, and we're just that much better than a team than most of the rest of the pack. So them being like a pretty decent side, like there's still like a large gap, a large margin there. You know, okay, let's look at some of their numbers away on the road. Well, you know, about 1.2 goals for, about 1.5 goals against. Like, you know, their points on the road, their average is just 0.88. So like it's very
the 8th seed. It's kind of everything is what you would expect. I don't think they're like a team with a lot of surprises. The 8th is like about where they should have finished. That you know.
That Alex Anderson or whatever his name is, their striker, he's pretty solid. They got Paco Craig. I mean, the rest of the pack they're pretty, I think, average. Is that fair to say?
Yep. Yeah, the team. If we're looking at the playoffs,
they do have to cost. Like, I forgot about him.
The team I think is dangerous compared to their seed is Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is the team that jumps out to me as having quality above, because they ended up with the 7th seed, and I would say they can hang with anybody in the top 3 or 4. Like I think that's the team that I would say like is able to really punch above their seed. That I am glad that it worked out that ended up being the 2-7 match instead of North Carolina.
I want to circle back to them and really that whole bottom quadrant in general, because that's a hot mess, and I'm glad we are not in that circus. Anything could happen there.
We really are glad we got that 1 seed, because it is a tough road for the 2 seed.
Oh, it is ugly down there. But before we get there, let's take a look at the other one. So theoretically, if we were to advance past North Carolina, we would take on the winner of Indy 11 and Rhode Island. They'd be playing it. They're playing at Indy, so Rhode Island's going to be the away team there. They're a team that, like you're saying, how Pittsburgh scares you, and I totally get it, and I totally agree. But Rhode Island scares me.
They're the one in the 16-1.
Yep, that's like one of the biggest things. Is like they have been able to win at Lynn Family Stadium, and I think that means a lot.
Well, and just in general this season, like the style they play, they're the kind of team that can make weird things happen in the playoffs, because they are like, they're not really gonna put up a lot of goals, but in a game where everything slows down in the playoffs and people are being more cautious and defensive, they can lock a game down and just like take a 0 draw into penalty kicks. That they're the kind of team that I could see going on a run like that. We're just like grinding every game down into PKs.
Yeah, they're hot. They've won at home. They're different. I'm kind of afraid of them. We're going to be honest. Like they have upset alert on them on any of their matchups. So that's going to be interesting because on the flip side, if we take on them, obviously, everything we just said. But on the flip side, Louisville Indianapolis Proximity Association football contest in the second round. That's the kind of opportunity that Indy could earn some respect for, right? If they were able to stop this Louisville City team in the playoffs. I've been talking for a long time how they've not been carrying their weight in the rivalry.
If we're thinking just superstition and vibes, we had a really brutal reverse of fortune against them at Indy, and it does feel like maybe karmically they're due to return the favor.
It's been one-way traffic for a long time now. Like, why now would it change?
Karma.
It could. So, there's always that. It does make me nervous, but again, when they came here, it was that CBS game. This team steps up for big moments. They smoked them. So, either way,
is it weird that this is by far the best team we've had coming into the playoffs, and both of us are so nervous?
Well, we're nervous just because it feels so lopsided in our favor.
Yeah,
like you said at the top, that's the whole reason. It's this is too good. Where's the flaw? Where's the issue? How is this going to hurt me?
Things are going too good. I'm waiting for the bad thing to happen.
Yeah,
that's just life.
Now, looking at that bottom quadrant I alluded to earlier. Detroit versus
Tampa, glad we have nothing to do with that mess.
And Charleston versus Pittsburgh. Jesus, that could be any permutation of teams winning out of there. You could pitch a case to me for any mixture, and I'd go with it. I don't know what's going to happen there. No idea. I'm going to lean towards Detroit over Tampa.
I would say the only thing is,
and that's the strongest feeling I have about that.
Tampa has struggled as of late. They're not coming in to the super hot closing the season out for understandable reasons. They're
the kind of team though that I feel can step up to big moments. They have that factor. But if you made me pick,
and weirdly that
lean towards
that Charleston Pittsburgh game might be for being a 2-7, I think that's the matchup of the first round. That's that's the must-watch game of the round, I think.
If I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh somewhat recently beat Charleston, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's not as clean cut as it should be.
It's gonna be very confusing to keep track of who's who.
Black and yellow. Yeah. So God knows what's going to happen in that lower portion down there. Let's just say, I'm going to assume Detroit and Charleston gets it done. You got Charleston, Detroit. I'd pick Charleston. Hey, there's your Eastern Conference final right there.
Oh yeah, we should do a pick 'em.
I'm thinking about it.
And post them.
I think I honestly would rather play Charleston over Detroit.
No, I don't want to.
Detroit's ugly. They'll play physical. They'll get on the skin. They'll do all that sketchy ass shit. We cannot play Charleston, but when you have that shit ass factor that Detroit brings, that's the wild card stuff I don't want in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and and you know what? Let's also take on the battery. Let's slam the door shut and confirm that we are the best team in the East. And by doing that, by beating that number 2 team, beating
if I got to pick of the 4, I would probably pick Detroit to play. Because they're bringing a lot of bad vibes, but I think on paper, that's the team I would be least concerned. Not
if I could pick, I'd pick Tampa. Because they're weak. They're weak right now.
They're weak right now. I still like you said, I am
They ha-
concerned with
they
Tampa like flipping the switch.
they do have that. Yeah, they do have that big game
Yeah.
factor, but we have the big bang factor, and we're actually good. So
Like if I got to pick of the four, I would probably pick Detroit to play.
yeah, it's
I don't
tough.
want to go anywhere near the black and yellow teams if we don't have to. If I got to choose against it.
I'm not as afraid of Pittsburgh as I probably should be.
It's Lily Ball in the playoffs. You don't want to.
This team knows what they're doing, though. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd feel comfortable, but hey, the point is,
I
we
have
don't
no
have to play.
opinions on the Western Conference bracket because I don't watch enough Western Conference games.
Well, who cares? They're objectively weaker, and we've beat New Mexico, we've beat the Switchbacks, we've beat Memphis. Oh my God, we murdered Memphis. They're the 3 seed. They looked like they just wanted to abort the game by the 60th minute.
They just wanted to get out of the stadium.
If that's their 3 seed, it's a shit show over there. How the hell did Sacramento fall to 5th? What a collapse there. Yeah, I just in general, the West just doesn't
New
scare
Mexico's
me.
good.
We beat them. I feel good. I feel good against them.
Yeah. No one in the West like scares me, but like New Mexico's quality.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be a lot of fun to see how things shake out. But yeah, the East is definitely infinitely more interesting of a situation.
Well, I think
Fun
like based on the FOTMob ratings, I think it's like 5 of the top 6 teams in the league are in the East this season.
Yeah. We get through these.
So.
I'm feeling pretty good. So
now that said, all the Eastern Conference teams get to play Memphis like multiple times, so that might slant the rankings a little bit. Miami. They all get to play Miami multiple times. Sorry.
It's 2 games, and Miami did get a few wins, so
a few.
Yeah. I don't think it's skewing things that badly, but yeah. I think we pretty thoroughly covered Louisville City and the USL situation. Let's flip gears because Racing has a big one on their hands.
We got decision day coming up.
Yeah, and I think I can handle like win or go home for Racing. What makes me frustrated is that
I hate being in a win and then wait for other results.
Yeah, they don't control their own destiny, which is not fun. They can go out and they can beat out in San Diego, but if other results don't happen, then it's all for naught, or at least no playoffs. That is. But I guess one thing at a time. We can't worry too much about the result of Bay and Houston, and Portland and Angel City. How are we feeling about the one factor they can control, their match against San Diego on the road? That is.
I think actually of all of the things that need to happen, I would think the win. Well, it's away. They've not been good away, but that's probably. It's the one they control, and it's also, I would say, probably the most likely. I could see a situation where they get the win, and then the other 2 things don't happen more than the other way. So,
for sure, yeah. Bay's playing last place Houston. Not count my eggs on that one. And then Portland and Angel City, it's that goal differential.
But they need a multi-goal loss by Portland, or they need to blow out San Diego.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they need a 4-goal swing in goal differential to catch Portland. So they need a 2-goal win and a 2-goal loss for Portland.
Oh man, it's been a long time. We last played San Diego in April. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
0-0 draw.
One thing though is it is a mess in San Diego right now. Like,
yeah, they're different.
They are in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like it is a road game, which typically like Racing has struggled with. But it's like yeah, San Diego's probably not paying full attention to the game.
In their last 5 games, they've lost 4, won 1. 2 of them were home games, 1 win and 1 loss. And I guess this is worth noting that 1 loss was to the Houston Dash, the comfortable last place team. Okay, they only lost. They're only in that spot by 2 points, but still.
But yeah, I mean, like,
That makes
if I were predicting, I would say the most likely scenario is that Racing gets the win they need, but then doesn't get the other results.
Yeah, this would be a great time for Savannah DeMello to really become the Savannah DeMello of old.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Or we could have Sears bring some of the women's national team magic with her.
How about both?
See, yeah, we got to cover that. Sears got her first cap for the national team this weekend and scored in her very first national team game, which I think a player has not done since press.
That helps you get invited back.
Yep.
Control what you can control, and she's controlling her performance.
I think a goal and an assist.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So, it will have already happened, but I am assuming she probably also gets some playing time against Argentina since it's going to be here.
I'd be absolutely shocked if she didn't see that field.
To grab a player from the team that you're playing in the city for and then not play them in that game specifically, it'd be a weird move.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely floored if that didn't happen. So I'm expecting that we'll get to see her. We'll find out. But yeah, in terms of racing situation, I can't worry about those other results. Like they need to get the job done on their end.
Control.
Yeah.
And if they really want to help themselves out, they need like a multiple goal win if they want to give themselves the best chance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's again, that goal differential thing, they can help really kind of cut into that. Maybe a good time for somebody like a Balser and Becky to really demonstrate some more of their value and the trades that they made.
It's a big ask, but if they win by 3 goals, then they get through as long as Portland loses, no matter by how much. But at least 2 sort of gets you into the realm of possibility.
So I think basically what we're saying, we're starting like list through just the whole roster. Like it's time for everybody to really kind of step up and bring their A game. No more excuses, no more iffy Rick results. Like it's win or go home time now. And we all really believe that this is a playoff team. It's looking slightly doubtful right now, but that percentage is not 0. They can still make this happen.
Yeah. Also, weirdly, like my feelings on the season can very wildly swing after this weekend. If they sneak in, then like I'm good. Great season.
I am absolutely not. No. If they make it, it will be in the absolute ugliest way possible.
And I'll be there for it.
I mean, hey, I'll be happy about it, but I can also still be pretty not pleased that they couldn't make it a little bit more solid of a performance.
I'll just be happy overall to not be 9th place if they can get in.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll really kind of gauge where I'm at when the dust fully settles, because it's not over yet. And also, I think we might have already complained about this, but the fact that they have this decision day and it's like all the games are like spaced out.
I like literally as you said that, I had just noticed it looking at the schedule. Yeah. Why have a decision day and not have the games kick off at the same time? That's the whole point of a decision day.
Money.
Money for what? You make more money having everybody play at the same time because you get big wild finishes.
You don't get all the eyeballs. You can spread the eyeballs when you spread the matches.
No, you get more eyeballs when they're all going on at the same time. It's why everybody loves the NCAA tournament. What a stupid way to do it. Why bother even having everybody play on the same day
Okay,
then?
I don't want it spread out, but like I get the logic. I don't love it.
No, I don't get the logic. The logic's stupid. Yeah, I saw that they were playing at 5 p.m. and I was like, oh, that's because everyone's kicking off at the same time and they got to fit the the Western Conference teams and the Eastern Conference teams.
Wait. It's not even that. Like, there's games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh gosh.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize the Friday. Like I knew there was some spread there. So one of the matches we're interested in is actually on Friday at 10 o'clock. That Portland and Angel City game.
So I did not. I assumed everything was on Sunday.
And then the following night, Saturday night, will
both of the games that matter are played before ours. So we will know if a playoff berth is even on the line before kickoff.
Yep.
Which is going to be weird.
Which if there's no if the playoffs are dead when that game kicks off, like, boy, there goes any motivation, like
I didn't even look into it. I was all excited about like watching 3 games at the same time and
I knew they were spread. I did not realize it was multi-day spread.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh gosh. I saw someone mention this on Blue Sky and I wish I remember who it was, but it was one of the soccer writers I follow. I feel really bad. But it was right after the WNBA final, and he had posted that it feels like the WNBA is positioning themselves to take advantage of the greater interest in women's sports in ways the USL extremely does not seem to be.
Yeah.
It it's hard to do what the league has done. They have been operating at a the other leagues have died. It's not easy to run a women's soccer league, but also, man, it seems like they just refuse to help themselves out.
Yep. Yeah, it's not been fantastic. Not been good. So
anyway, it could be very intense on Sunday, or it could be like over before it starts.
Yeah, which is disappointing, but what are we gonna do? So, any closing thoughts on Racing and their overall situation?
It's extremely wait and see for me. I'm curious. The way I feel about the season is going to really hinge on how this weekend plays out. Because it's like they've just been riding the knife's edge all year, and now we finally find which side of it they break on.
Yeah. We will see. All right, Zach, I'm actually prepared for this week, but I'm gonna let you go first. What recommendations do you have for the people?
So Halloween's coming up. Probably is either the day this posts or the day before. So I've been doing my spooky movie watch this month, and I'm in the middle of rewatching all the Evil Dead movies, which is an annual. Well, all of the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead movies, which is an annual tradition. So I recommend just any of them. To pick any of the 3 they're all perfect in their own way. I am a big fan of Army of Darkness. That's the first one I watched.
That's me too.
But they're all good in such different ways that it is like hard to pick a favorite. That whole series is great.
I went in blind to Army of Darkness. Like, it was like beginning of like freshman year at college, and they're showing it like one of the theaters on campus, and my friends got me to go and fell in love. Absolutely.
It is kind of wild. It pulls off a thing like all of the movies take place like literally back to back to back. Every single movie starts with the last scene of the one before it, But also,
one
you
and
can
two,
watch any of the three in any order, and they all make sense.
1 and 2 are basically the same movie. Like 2 is basically like
No,
a
see, that's a
more of a
common
remake of one.
confusion. So 1 and 2, 2 is the second night. 1 is the first night at the cabin. So they take place like there's some weird like rights issues where it's a different distribution company than the first movie made it, so they couldn't like acknowledge that the first movie happened. But like if you watch it, like the way the second movie starts with essentially like a recap of the first movie and then picks up where the first movie left off, even though the recap things happen a little originally that was supposed to be like literally footage from the first movie as a recap, but they didn't have the rights to use that, so they had to refilm it.
All right, let me rephrase it. 2 is basically the first one remade with more stuff.
Yeah.
I like 2 better than 1 because
But anyway, just it's interesting that you could watch any of the three of them and they all work as self-contained movies.
Yeah. They're great.
But yeah, so that's what I got. Even if Halloween's already happened, those movies are great. Watch them. What about you, Benton? You got any recommendations for the people this week?
I've, in terms of like my video gaming habits, always been more of into games that have like multiplayer or like kind of sandbox components, like do whatever I want. Think of something like a Skyrim type of thing. I can just do whatever the hell I want. I don't have to follow some linear story or whatnot. One exception to that rule has been the Metal Gear Solid series. Absolutely adore it. Not only for the gameplay, but like it's just uniquely cinematic. And I've been properly playing Metal Gear Solid 5. I got a long while ago, played it a little bit. The Phantom Pain.
Phantom Pain. I was trying to remember the subtitle.
Yeah, Phantom Pain. And I got it when it came out, and I played it some. And
is that the
and
one where he's old?
No, that's 4. Guns of the Patriots. This is the most recent like proper entry to the series.
Yeah.
And like while it lacks a little bit in the story department, unlike the other ones, the gameplay is just so goddamn good. It is such a fun game when you really get cooking in that. So it very much has like a sandboxy sort of feel to it too, but also get that Metal Gear Solid experience in a very modernized way, and I mean modernized compared to like 1, 2,
5
and 3.
The one where you can like strap a balloon to people and just lift them off?
Yeah, the Fulton extraction. Yeah, it's that one. But man, I love it so much. And now that I say that, I realize that they're remaking 3, and that will be coming out in the next few months. And I'm really excited about that now.
That'll be fun.
So I've been playing a decent bit of 5, and it's so good. So good.
I started replaying like the original PS1 a little while back. I didn't get super far. And he did get back
I don't
to
want
that.
to say any I don't want to say any spoilers for anybody who's not familiar, but the Psycho Mantis fight, how goddamn innovative is that? You know what I'm talking about?
In which one?
Metal Gear Solid 1.
I have not made it that far. It's actually it's my first playthrough of it.
Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't say anything. How are you playing it? Are you playing like on a PS1?
Yeah, on a PS1.
Oh, okay. That makes
Oh, wait, is that the one where the
I think we're about to get spoiler
glitching out on you?
No.
You gotta disconnect the controller, doesn't it? Anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's you were onto it with that last comment.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I am aware of that.
Ingenious.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So yeah, good. Evil Dead and Metal Gear Solid. I think two quality recommendations this week.
Yeah, I love both of them. So, all right, Zach. I think it's time we let these people move on to the next podcast in their queue. How about it?
Yep. Get hyped for the playoffs for both teams. Both teams are going to be in the playoffs.
Both of our playoff appearing teams.
Putting good vibes out into the universe.
We will see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning as always. We really do appreciate the support. It's been a lot of fun making this and having people engage with us. Like it's just I've heard of people like listening to it who I'm not like directly in contact with, and it's just it's just a fun feeling, just people want to hear your thoughts on the games, your insights, and it's been a cool experience.
Well, people want to hear your thoughts.
I hear yours too. They have to listen. They have to listen to both of them, and so they're obviously invested enough.
People have to hear my thoughts.
Anyway, I'm just trying to express my gratitude and thanks to everybody who's listening, whether you're regular or periodic listener. It's been cool. It's been fun.
And girls.
So with that, we're going to close this up, and we'll catch up with you guys next week after we talk about some wins, some making the playoffs, some moving on in the playoffs, all that fun. Yeah? Cool.
Yep. Or we'll be very sad. We'll see.
We're not going to be sad. We're not going to be sad, boys. All right, take care, guys. Bye, Miss Morados. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.